don't care what you're doing to me. Y'all, it is a rainy day in Georgia, y'all. It is a rainy day in Georgia. But anyway, today is one of those days. It's that time of the month. It's time for my March wrap-up. Y'all, I am so excited on how many books I read or listened to in the month of March. I will be putting up photos of most of the books that I read in March because some of them were library books and some of them I just actually listened to or read on my Kindle. So I was very excited because I actually got some Kindle reading time in. And I think I got that Kindle time in also because I got me a new Kindle Scribe. And I was so excited about getting the Kindle Scribe and being able to actually write on the Kindle Scribe, like different areas of the books or book that I liked. I was able to actually write on that page, and that was very exciting for me. So y'all, update so far, I am loving my Kindle Scribe. I love all the features of the Kindle Scribe, and if I could recommend, or if you would ask me to recommend the Kindle Scribe, I would say yes. I still have the first tablet that I ever was given for me to read books. And I also still have my Paperwhite. I will never get rid of my Paperwhite because I love that little thing. I love that little thing because it just depends on like where I'm at or what I'm doing. It will be just so convenient for me to have. So I still have my Paperwhite, and of course I have my Kindle Scribe now that I'm actually loving. So Yolandas Journaling places a video, and I know y'all hear me say this all the time, but I just want y'all to know Yolandas Journaling places a video on YouTube every Wednesday and Sunday, and here we talk about nothing but books. Books that I actually like, books that I will never read again. I let y'all know where my books are going, the ones that I am not going to keep. I recommend books for you guys to get. I have not had a DF book yet, but not saying that I would never have one, but I have not had one yet. I just really enjoy reading. And y'all, these books that I read and the recommendations that I give and the stars that I give the books that I read might not be what you guys feel like that book should be as far as a star rating, or should it be a recommendation. And that's okay. That is okay, because we're not gonna like the same books, because we like different genres. We like to read different types of book, like book talk, literary romance, contemporary romance, contemporary fiction, you know, there's a lot of different genres of books. History books, some people just all they like to read is history books, and maybe that's not your thing. So just know that it is okay if you guys do not like any or some of the books that I recommend or I have read on my vlog that I actually liked. So just remember that, y'all, okay? So let's get straight into the video. All right, y'all, welcome back to my channel. This is a continuation from yesterday. As you can see, I have on different clothes, and I also I am in a different spot. So, but just like I say, stuff like that won't stop our show, right? So today is a very special day because I have a book haul for you guys, and I also have my March wrap up. And I am so proud of myself with my March wrap up. I did really good this month. But I don't know if I'm actually going to do a TBR from now on, because I'm such a big mood reader. It just depends on what mood I am. If I look at a book and I want to read that book, I want to be able to read that book and not have to worry about, oh God, is it on my TBR that I told you guys that I was going to have. So I will still give you the books that I would like to read for a month or two. It just depends on how I would like to do it. But I don't know if I call it like my TBR for that month, because I want to be able to read whatever I want to read. So today, with the March wrap up, some of the books I have physically, and the other books I will pop a picture of each one of them up as I talk about them, because some of them were library books and they had to be returned, and some of them were books that I read on my Kindle Scribe. So yes, I am loving my Kindle Scribe. I like the way I can annotate on my Kindle Scribe, and also I like where I can actually make it into a notebook. That way, like the ones that I read on my Kindle Scribe, I can actually make notes on like what I would like to say to you guys during that book wrap up or book review. So shout out to the Kindle Scribe, because I am so loving my Kindle Scribe. So let's get started. What I'm gonna start with is my book haul. For the past 2 days, I've been feeling under the weather, so what always makes me feel good is book shopping. So I went book shopping for the past few days, and I just want to share with you guys a couple of the things that I got during that book shopping. So you already know, like, you never can get enough of bookmarks. So I wanted to brighten my horizon with bookmarks this time, and I got the corner bookmarks. So one of them say, just one more page, you fell asleep here, what the F did I just read? Go away, I'm reading. And it's page corner bookmarks. Hope you guys can see that. I think you can. Okay. And also I got a car air freshener, and it says love books. So I thought those were pretty cute, and it's a sunny citrus smell. So I want to put that up in my vehicle. And y'all, I got another bookmark, and I'm going to show y'all this bookmark along with showing you this book. So I got Tell Me What Really Happened by Chelsea Sadatu. I'm not quite sure how to say her name, but I was just looking at the cover of this book. I was not planning on buying this book, but I was looking at the cover of this book on the table, and I was like, oh my gosh, like that is such a neat cover. Like I would really want to read that book. So I picked it up. It's a thriller by an author that I have never heard of, never heard too many people talk about. It says, it was all her idea. They would get away from their parents and spend the weekend camping. Down by Salvation Creek, the 5 of them would make s'mores, steal kisses, share secrets. But sometime around midnight, she vanished. Now the 4 friends who came back are under suspicion, and they each have a very different story to tell about what happened in the woods. What are they hiding? Who is lying? Dark truth must come to the light if their friend is to be found alive or dead. The clock is ticking. Told entirely through first-person police interviews, this propulsive YA mystery asks what happened that night. So as you see, I didn't already started reading this book. That's why I say, y'all, like, I'm a big mood reader, and I don't want to be tied down to just certain books that I have to read. So that right there just pretty much explains what I was talking about earlier in the vlog. And just so you guys can see the bookmark, as you can see the little teeth prints there, and then when you open it up, there's another little tab here. and it is the actual tail, and that is where you actually mark your page that you're on in your book. So I thought it was kind of cute. I think when I looked at it, it was like, might be for kids, but hey, I am a big kid at heart when it comes down to my books. So I do like this, and I do see how it works. So most likely I will actually go and buy another one, because I would have to have two. I can't just have one. So the next book that I purchased is Same Time Next Summer by this author here. I'm not quite sure how to say that author's name, but all I hear Shaughnessy talk about is this book, and she feels like this is a great book, and like people are really sleeping on this book. So I decided to pick it up, and it's a real summery book, so that is perfect for me to read this time of year. It says Sam's life is on track. She has the perfect doctor fiance, Jack, a great job in Manhattan, and is about to tour a wedding venue near her family's Long Island beach house. Everything should go as planned, yet the minute she arrives, Sam senses something is off. Wyatt is here, her Wyatt. But there's no reason for a 30-year-old engaged woman to feel panicked around the guy who broke her heart when she was 16 years old, right? Yet being back at the beach, hearing notes from Wyatt's guitar float across the night air from next door as if no time has passed. Sam's memories come flooding back. The feel of Wyatt's skin on hers, their nights in the treehouse, and the truth about their split. Sam remembers who she used to be, and as Wyatt re-enters her life, their connection is undeniable as it always was. She will have to make a choice. Oh my God. This is a guy that really intrigued her and she really loved when she was 16 years old, y'all. And now she is a 30-year-old woman engaged, and the feelings for this guy Wyatt is like they never even left once she saw him again. Oh, I just love books like that. Love books like that. Sometime Next Summer. So ready to get into that book. And as I was at the cash register at Barnes & Nobles, of course they always ask you, would you like to buy the monthly pick of Barnes & Nobles, because they're always half off. So I did, because you know I can't pass up a book. So I got a thriller, and it's called Please See Us by Kathleen Mullen. Never heard of this author, don't know anything about this book, and I'm hoping you guys are seeing that very clearly. But just by the front of it, it looked like it was very, very interesting, so I decided to pick this one up. Please See Us. And it says, summer has come to Atlantic City, but the boardwalk is empty of tourists. The casino lights have dimmed, and two Jane Does are laid out in the marshland behind the Sunset Motel. Only one person ever knows they're here. Meanwhile, Carla, a young boardwalk psychic, struggles to attract clients for the torrent readings that pay her rent. When she begins to experience very real disturbing visions, she suspects they could be related to the recent cases of women gone missing in town. When Carla meets Lily, an ex-Soho art gallery girl who is working as at a desolate casino spa, she thinks Lily may be able to help her. If they can put the pieces together in time, they may save another lost girl, so long as their efforts don't attract attention first. Wow, great pick. So I picked Please See Us. It's a Barnes & Noble's monthly pick. So these books here that I'm finna show you guys next are books that I got from Barnes and Books A Million. I went to Barnes & Noble today, and I went to Books A Million yesterday. So I've seen this on somebody's Instagram blog, and she just ranted and raved about it. I think it was Danny on Instagram, but if I can, I'll pop up her page during this little thing here. But anyway, so it's Unstudy by Peyton Carlene. I'm hoping that's the way you say the name. But anyway, it looks like it's a hockey romance, and I'm actually currently reading Pucking Around, that hockey series, only when I'm working out. So I'm kind of familiar with the hockey books, so I thought this would be fairly interesting. So it says, Raya is back, at least he's supposed to be. During last year's Frozen Four, the Waterfall University hockey captain and National Hockey League legacy took a brutal hit that left him with a concussion and now discomfort on the ice. Plagued by nightmares and panic attacks every time he attempts to skate, Rye wonders if he'll ever play again or if he'll ever want to. Oh God, that's just breaking my heart already. So, Unsteady by Peyton Carlene, thinking that's the name. So they're interested in reading that one. This one is a book that really caught my attention because of the cover of the book, and then I read like the first few lines of the synopsis and I was like, oh, I gotta have that book. And so it's called Postcards from Summer by Cynthia Platt. And it's about a 17-year-old girl named Lexi who always wanted to know more about her mother. And it says her mother passed when Lexi was a child, but her dad would barely talk about her. He says he'd rather live in the present with Lexi, her stepmom, and her half-brother. Lexi loves her family too, but is it so wrong to want to learn about the mom she never got to know? When Lexi's grandmother dies and leaves her a worn chest that belonged to Lexi's mother, Lexi is ecstatic to find treasures trove of keepsakes. Her mom held on to letters, pamphlets, flyers, and news articles, all from the same beautiful summertime getaway, Mamakic Island, plus a critic postcard that hints of forbidding romance. Oh my God, y'all, it's called Postcards from Summer. Very, very interesting. I am so interested in getting into that. All right, y'all, I'm back. I felt like I was kind of like blending in too much with the background, and this shirt is the only shirt that I have here, so I just decided to put on my jacket to see if it'll make it a little bit better. So the next one that I got is by Megan Brandy. It's called Say You Swear. I seen this book on Shaughnessy's page when she was talking, doing one of her vlogs, and I just fell in love with the cover. And it's a first love lasts forever trope, and it says, Andrina Johnson has been dreaming of what college life might bring, and it's finally coming over the horizon as she and her friends plan one last beachside summer together. So much has changed over the years, but there's always been one constant: the boy her heart returns to no matter where her imagination runs, her brother's best friend, Chase. Y'all, I love books like this. I love books like this. All I can do is just read a few lines of the synopsis, and if it just makes my heart jump, it's like, Yolanda, you're getting this book. So, Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. I am so excited to get this book. So excited to read it. The last one that I bought throughout my little 2-day shopping spree was a Kathleen Gosco book. I have Girl in Pieces, but I have never read that book. One of my coworkers had this one, You Be Home Now, and the cover just so captured my attention, and I was like, girl, I have the first book. I don't know if it's a series or not, but I have Girl in Pieces. I have not read it, but you making me want to read this one. So she said she had this one, but did not have the first book. So when I went to Books A Million, I decided to look for this one and pick up this book. So now I got 2 books from the same little trope series, standalone books, and that's how I like to have it. So I pulled out Girls in Pieces so that I can get started on that, and then we will actually get started on this one. This one says, it's finally peaceful now that my wild and troubled brother is gone, and I feel guilty about loving this peace. For all of Emery's life, she's been told who she is. Everything was turned on its head, though when she and her brother Joey were in a car accident that killed Candy Montclair, the car accident that reveals just how bad Joey's drug habit was. Pills, drug habit. I want to read this one, and the reason why I say that, y'all, is because I'm a respiratory therapist, and we deal with kind of those situations like a lot. So books like this, beyond the light fluffy reads that really makes my heart jump, books like this really intrigues me. So very, very happy that I seen Shaughnessy talk about these books, and then there was a friend of mine at work who actually had this book and was reading it. So I am so excited for the books that I bought today, and the bookmarks and all the things that I bought from Barnes & Nobles and Books A Million. Alright guys, so let's get started into the second half of this vlog. So thirsty, and y'all, when I'm tired, I've worked so many 6-day stretches or whatever, this is my go-to. If it's not good for me, I'm sorry, but I don't drink it all the time. But I'm so thirsty right now. All right, y'all, let's get started. So let's get started into my March wrap-up. These are all the books that I read in the month of March. I either read them as a physical book, or I read them as a library book, or I read them on my Kindles. So excited to start with this first book. This first book is Never Lie by Frida McFadden. This was a 5-star book for me. I'm pretty sure on Goodreads that I said it was a 5-star. Well, I rated it as a 4.5 star. 4.5 star for me. I loved this book. Very close to a 5-star read. The way Frida McFadden mind work when she writes her book, the way her stories just jump from present to past in this book, and you just do not get lost. It always keeps you wanting to like turn the page and see what happens next. Like, I did not want to go to sleep off of this book. I did not want to go to sleep because I wanted to see what was next. So basically it's about a newlywed couple who was searching for, at least we thought, searching for a house. And they found a house, and then they actually get stuck at the house. And during the time that they get stuck at the house, the fiance Trisha, she uncovers, well, first of all, the house used to belong to a doctor, a psychiatrist, who actually just happened to go missing. And she had been missing for like 3 years. This couple stumbles upon this house that they possibly want to buy to probably start a family or whatever. So during the time that they are there, Trisha, she's like freaked out about everything. She finds secret places and secret tapes that Dr. Hall had recorded during sessions, blase this, blase that. And they also find what it says: with each tape, another shocking piece of the puzzle falls into place and a web of lies slowly unravel. By the time Trisha reaches the final cassette, the one that reveals the entire horrifying story, it was too late. So I can't tell you too much into it, but all I can say is, if y'all have not read Never Lie by Frida McFadden, y'all are missing out. Y'all are so totally missing out. So the next one that I actually read, that I had on my shelf for quite some time, I heard Shaughnessy talk about this book. She loved this book. This is always a reread for her, and it is Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. I rated this book a 4-star. I read this book physically and I also listened to it on audio. So I really actually did like this book. And this will be a book that I will actually keep on my shelf. So it's about Macy and Elliot. And it's a light, fluffy read, y'all. It will break your heart as well. But it's another book that it's just a light, fluffy read, y'all. So anyway, because you know, like these kind of books, they just really gets to me. And sometimes it's just hard to control my emotions with it. But anyway, it's about Macy and Elliot, who were childhood friends. So their friendship turned into more than friends at an early age. And I think they were 16 as well. And so they grow up, and once they grow up, they actually see each other again. And again, when they see each other, sparks fly from, you know, the relationship and the things that they did when they were kids. And they have a whole nother life with, you know, Macy has a whole nother life, an actual fiance, and Elliot has a whole nother girlfriend. But the love that they have for each other is so strong and had been for so many years that they possibly would break it off with everybody else just to be together. So like, I love stuff like that. I love for high school sweethearts to actually become the people that is in each other's life for the rest of their life. So Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. I really like that book. And y'all, it's a Might Know Your Part series. I've read book 1, so y'all already know what's next, which is book 2. I actually ordered the whole series off of Blackwell because they had the original covers, and I just do not like the covers that they have now for the Might Know Your Part series. So I waited on Blackwell and I got the original covers from there. And it's the second book called Daisy Haynes by Jessa Hastings. I rated this book a 4-star. I really love the Might Know Your Part series, the 2 books that I have read already. And I love all the other ones as well because I heard so many people talk about them. So many people say that it was just a quick read for them because they did not want to put this series down. So this one says, no guns at the dinner table. All 20-year-old Daisy Hayes has ever wanted is a normal life. But as the Sisters of London most notorious gang lord, she knows better than most that in this life everything comes at a price. So pretty much this book was about Daisy Haynes, pretty much, and her brother. Her family is like really big into pretty much criminal activities, and Daisy is just a little 20-year-old girl who basically just wants a normal life and just acts as a 20-year-old girl. And what I mean by that is like a lot of sexual things going on and just having her way with whatever. And I just loved it. I loved it. 4.5 or 4-star for me. So the next books that I'm going to mention, y'all, I'm gonna have to put up a photo of them because I do not have the physical books. I keep going in and out on y'all. So one is a Kennedy Ryan book. It's called Coming Home, and I rated it a 3-star. I listened to it on audio. Fairly nice little book, short book. So like if you're in a reading slump, Coming Home would be a very nice, see if I can put this up there that y'all can see it, very nice book to read. Pretty much is about these two right here who were liking each other when they were in high school. Again, life happens. They actually do not let each other know that they care about each other when they're in high school. So they get up in age as adults, careers go here, careers go there. And the guy, and I can't even remember his name. Let me see. Tro. I can't even remember how to say his name. But anyway, so he ends up being like a writer. And the other girl that he really cared about during his high school years, she is like a journalist or something like that, I think. And so anyway, Tro, I don't even think that's how you say his name, but anyway, he actually has a kid, has a family, has a kid, and then that same kid, it is actually what brings these two high school sweethearts back together. And of course, it's a happily ever after that. It says the air hymns with what could have been, and they're tempted by what they could have right now. If only for one weekend have they traveled the world chasing something special when all it took was coming home. And it's featuring a Southern University marching band, Human Jukebox. So it's like, it's HBCU. So it's a HBCU, how would I say it? It's a HBCU based college book. But anyway, y'all, I rated it a 3-star. I think it's a really nice read if you would like to get out of your reading slump. This next book that I'm going to show you guys, I did a whole book review on this book, but it was still a part of the books that I read in March. So it's still a part of my March wrap up, y'all. I'm very proud of this book. So it is Luca by Gray Huffington. This book was a 4.5-star read for me. I really enjoyed this book. This book is about Luca and Ever. Those were the two that actually met each other, fell in love, had a family, and just lived that happily ever after. But anyway, it's pretty much about Luca, Ever, Lyric, and Lake, and Dwayne. Ever had 2 kids. This book had some trigger warnings in it, y'all. And the trigger warnings is like a lot of abuse. A lot of abuse. I'm gonna just put it at that. If y'all want to see or hear about the abuse that I said it has in this book, y'all can check out my book review on Luca. But Ever was running away from a bad relationship. She had a best friend in her hometown, Channing, named Lyric. Lyric had a brother named Luca who was not actually in the picture at that time because he was serving a 8-year sentence in prison for something that he did. When Luca actually gets out of prison and he's picked up by Lyric and her friend, best friend Ever, the sparks just fly from day one. And Luca just was very determined on what he wanted when he came out of the pen, and that is what he made happen. And it was by any means possible that he was going to make Ever and her kids part of his family and always happy, whatever means necessary. And that is exactly what he did. So Luca by Gray Huffington got a 4.5 star from me. The next one is called Have We Met by Camille Baker. I gave this one a 3-star. It was okay. I listened to it on audio. Do not have a physical book of this book, and it just wasn't that good for me. It wasn't a deal as far as for me to not listen to it completely on audio, but it was just it just wasn't what I guess I'm used to reading as far as books. But it's Have We Met by Camilla Baker, and if I can remember correctly, it's pretty much about a okay, just let me read this to you guys. What if you already met the soulmate you were destined to be with and you didn't even know it? After losing her best friend from cancer, Connolly Connolly's life is in flux. She has moved back to Chicago, which I think she's moving back with her family, is considering her next career move, and has absolutely no time to look for love until a mysteriously dating app called Meet suddenly appears on her phone. And with it, an invitation to Connie's to reconnect with 4 missing connections from her past. One of them, Meet, says is her soulmate. Connie doesn't believe in apps for a second, but when she is very quickly found herself with back-to-back blasts from the past, she'll have to consider if maybe she's wrong about it. The thing is, Connolly also been introduced to a really great guy outside the app's influence. As their feelings for each other grow, Connolly has to wonder, with her apparent true love still out there, should she tap yes to meet the next meet with help from a new group of friends, her loving and annoying family, and maybe a touch of fate? Can Connolly come to terms with the loss she's still reeling from, take control of her career, and find love along the way? And I can say yes, that's pretty much, I guess, what the book was about. Like I said, it wasn't that good of a read for me, so I was listening to it, but I was not that interested in the book, because like the dating app thing, that just completely flew over my head. So this was a 3-star for me. It wasn't it's not a book that I would recommend to be read by anyone. So the next book that I read, What If It Was Us by Becky and Adam. This is the authors of the book, and this is the actual book. This was a library book, so I do not have the physical copy of this book. This is a queer book, and I rate this book a 4-star. I really enjoyed this book. This book is pretty much about 2 characters named Ben and Arthur, who met while one of the characters was headed to the post office, or at the post office, trying to send off an ex-boyfriend's belongings. Something happened, the box wasn't able to be sent off. Okay, so Arthur was in New York, so it's Arthur who was in New York for the summer. Ben actually lived in New York. Ben was, and Arthur was at the post office, and Ben was dropping off, trying to mail off some of the belongings from his ex-boyfriend when Arthur and Ben met. So Arthur really wanted to reconnect with Ben, so he actually put you know, like a, what would you call it, like a you know, like how somebody's looking for a job, or they posting a job like on a bulletin board. He actually put something like that up. I don't know if it was at the post office. No, it was actually at a place where Ben worked, or actually frequent, and Ben actually saw it, and sparks just flew from there, and they actually started dating. And then there's also a second book to this series, which is Here Is Us, or Here Is Us, or something like that. But very nice book, a queer book. I love to read queer books. I love to read diverse books, so I would really recommend this book to you guys to read. The next one that I read, which was a library book, was Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. And it was a library book, and I rated it a 3-star. This one also was a queer book, and it was about 2 ladies who actually got married at 28 years old when they went to Vegas. To my understanding, by reading the very beginning of the book, it's like what is her name, Grace, went on a girls trip. You know how girls trips are. She actually got like toasted, wasted, and the next day she knows, she wakes up and she's actually married to another female. So it says, with her newly completed PhD in astronometry in hand, 28-year-old Grace Porter goes on a girls' trip to Vegas to celebrate. She is not the kind of person who goes to Vegas and gets drunkenly married to a woman whose name she does not know until she does actually that. This one moment of departure from her ex-military family's plan for her life has Grace wondering why she doesn't feel more fulfilling from completing her degree. Staggering under the weight of her father's expectations and struggling job market and feeling of burnt out, Grace flees her home in Portland for a summer in New York with the wife of she barely knows. When reality comes crashing in, Grace must face what she's been running from all along. The fears that makes us human, the family scars that need to heal, and the longing of connection, especially when navigating the messy adulthood. So the last book that I want to share with you guys that I read is actually a book that I read some time ago, and I actually had forgot about it till the person that I gave this book to, they actually gave it back to me, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. It's a book by Tracy Brown. It's called Hold You Down. I read this book some time ago, but I gave it a 4-star. It's written by a black author, and this was pretty much like the first book one of the first black author books that I started reading when I started reading books again. And I really enjoyed this book. So I'm gonna just read the synopsis to you guys, because like I said, it's been a very long time since I read this book. It says, Hold You Down is an edgy novel from rising Tracy Brown about the love and ties that bind New York City. Late 1980s and early 1990s, Mercy and Lennox. Yes, Mercy and Lennox. Pretty much it was like, okay, now it's like coming back to me. It's two sisters, Mercy and Lennox. Their mom died. Their mom was really not an active person in their lives. She always like brushed them off, or did things in that nature for a guy. So that kind of like left them being raised by their grandparent. And okay, so they're older now. They have kids of their own. I think each one of them have a boy apiece. And their mom died. They're at the funeral. They're trying to, explain to the boys about, their mom passing, this, that, and the other. And I think it is Lennox. Lennox is the one that is pretty much like the diva. So she starts to get into drug habits, selling drug habits and things like that. Mercy was pretty much like the down-to-earth, church-going sister of the bunch, but it was just them two left. So of course Mercy wanted to stay close to Lennox, even though she did not like the things that Lennox was doing and the lifestyle that she had and the lifestyle that she was surrounding her son with. So make a long story short, something actually happens to Lennox, and so that leaves Mercy to raise her child the rest of the way, which her child had already started getting into the bad habits of things like, of what the lifestyle that he was used to being raised in. So again, to make a long story short, Mercy is left to mourn her sister's tragic death, to raise her child and her sister's child and try to get the bond back together with her sister's child and them. Mercy actually ends up being sick and actually ends up passing away, and it was pretty much kind of like up to the two sons, the son and the nephew, to get their life together and live the way Mercy wanted them to live. So if you like violence, if you like drug activity, diva type activity, then you will love Hold You Down by Tracy Brown. So guys, that is all the books except for Hold You Down that I read in the month of March. Between audio, between my Kindle Scribe and my Kindle Paperwhite, and the physical books. So I was so proud of myself, so proud of myself, because I read all of those books or listened to all of those books within a month. So my reading habits is really picking up, and that's the old me. That's the old me, always willing to read a book, always wanting to read a book. Y'all, I don't know about y'all, but whenever I go somewhere, I have one of my Kindles with me, and I have at least 2 or 3 books. Who does that? Do y'all do that? Drop down in the comments and let me know, do y'all do that? Like, I will have my Kindle, and then I will have like a light fluffy read. I have a thriller book, or possibly 2 of a romance read, 1 of a thriller book. But when I go somewhere, I have to have at least 3 books with me, along with my Kindles, or one of my Kindles. So I know I'm not the only one that does that, because I'm a book girly, and I know y'all are book girly and guys too. So I know y'all have to have those options. Like when I go on a vacation, honey, I got my own bag full of books that I feel like that will really capture my interest on this vacation that I am going on. And it depends on the vacation. Depends on what kind of vacation I'm going on. It depends on what kind of books I want to take on that vacation. But honey, I gotta have my books. I gotta have my options. Just like us women gotta have our options with clothes, I gotta have my options with books as well. So y'all drop down in the comments and let me know, are y'all the same? Are y'all the same? Because I know y'all are, because y'all are book people. But guys, I really enjoyed showing you guys all the books that I bought in 2 days, and the accessories. And I really enjoyed giving you my book review on the 7, if we don't count Hold You Down, books that I read in the month of March. But I think still without Hold You Down, I think it's 8, but it might be 7. But anyway, I enjoyed you guys so much. And again, I surely do appreciate all the support that I have from you guys on all of my platforms. Again, you can catch me on Instagram and TikTok. I do things over there pretty much of kind of like daily stuff. And you can catch me here on YouTube on Wednesdays and Sundays for everything all about books. And I will be so glad to catch you guys in the next video. Bye guys.